Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Aquarians. Welcome back, guys. I am so happy to report that it looks like my live streams are processing again. It's been a week and things haven't been working well, but it was maybe all for the better because I had a real busy week and lots of stuff to think about anyway. But I'm so happy to be back with you guys. Oh, I was like, this is awesome. So, anyway, let's get to some zodiacs. You guys have been sorely overlooked. I couldn't get live streams to process, so it was quite the bumpy week. But here we are on Saturday, and we get to celebrate and hang out. Hi, Bruce, like Violet's great to see you, babe. All right, so we start with a Three of Cups. We go to the King of Swords. We shift to the Judgment, and we have the Nine of Cups. First off, Aquarius may be having a really like heart-to-heart conversation with someone. Now, this could be someone who tells Aquarius something pretty blunt. I keep feeling like it's a grandfather figure or an elder or somebody that maybe has like some really decent, spilling the tea, just giving a little bit of wisdom perhaps to Aquarius. And it may be to ask Aquarius like, hey, you do know that you are an absolute catch. So do you want to spend your time? Because you should have your pick of the litter. You should have your pick of the jobs. You should have your pick of things. You do know if you walked back into anybody's life or if you walked back toward any jobs, you do know that they would take you back, right? And I feel like this is a, heart-to-heart conversation that Aquarius needs to hear from somebody who is wiser and somebody who's not just blowing smoke. But this is maybe it's more than one person, but it looks like it's a one-on-one. They're doing more talking maybe than Aquarius is. Aquarius might be receiving some wisdom from somebody. Now, obviously, this is somebody who thinks highly of Aquarius because they're telling Aquarius to step into their divine masculine energy and even maybe encouraging Aquarius, like, look at yourself the way I see you, the way the rest of the world sees you. I think this is a much needed self-esteem boost because I don't know if Aquarius was aware that they bring so freaking much to the table. This Aquarius has great ideas. They have some foresight. They have a lot of expertise that they bring. They have something to offer. And once in a while, we don't see ourselves that way, and it requires somebody else to point it out. But the thing is, it's got to be the kind of person who points it out that Aquarius isn't going to immediately discount. And that's why I think it's great that it seems to be coming from an elder or coming from somebody who might typically be fairly reserved. But like how others see Aquarius, I think Aquarius is about to find out. And it kind of is like maybe Aquarius needs to regroup, and maybe they've needed somebody to tell them, like, Aquarius has freaking wings here. I think he's a very special person. I think this Aquarius is very, very special. And I think that Aquarius is like somewhere along the lines, maybe they kind of stopped believing in themselves, or they got used to, accepting breadcrumbs, or they kind of were down on themselves. Like we can all, start to feel like I don't know where I belong sometimes. And I love the fact that we have got this serious like reality check coming in that says, Aquarius, do you not realize you're very incredibly gifted? This Aquarius has got something. You don't have angel wings for no reason. And I just think that this encouragement is actually, although it could be hard for Aquarius to sit in here because it's not easy to sit around and have lots of compliments thrown your way, right? That can be like, oh my God, I'm going to be blushing. Maybe that's why the wings are pink, because it's like I'm blushing. But Aquarius needs to hear this. They need the reality check. They need to realize that the world is kind of their apple, and they need to come back to either some ideas that they already had, or they need to be more mindful about, like, maybe this is somebody wanting to sit Aquarius down and be like, you're not really taking back that ex, are you? You're not really about to do that, right? You do realize you could be with anybody that would treat you better. You do realize you should be happy. You don't have to say yes to somebody because they want you. You should say yes to somebody because you also want them. You're allowed to pick for yourself. So it feels like Aquarius has needed like a come to Jesus moment that is actually a really strong pep talk. Hi guys, Classic Slasher, Whitman Clan, Aqua Beauty. So great to see you all. Thank you guys for being here. It is so good to be back and have videos working again. I'm so excited. We have Eight of Swords. Okay, here's the reason Aquarius needed this pep talk. I do think Aquarius had been sitting maybe too much on their own. I've been too long on this island. I've been far too long alone. It's a song I really love by Bob Seger. I'm not always into like a ton of Americana music, but out of that genre, man, he is the king of the Americana music. I don't like all of it. I have to be honest. Like I know he's great. Everybody loves him and he's like a national treasure, but oh God, what's his name? Uh, JT, James Taylor cannot rock it. Cannot. I just can't listen to JT, but give me some Bob Seger and that more rocky Americana, I'm all down with. So in any case, but the song I think is called Till It Shines. But I'm feeling like maybe this is something that I don't know if our character here, if Aquarius had spent too long alone on this island and kind of got themselves stuck, like wondering, what am I here for? What's my purpose? Where do I apply myself? You know, do I really have something to contribute? Where do I go from here? And I think Aquarius needs to be reminded, baby, you got wings to fly. You can go literally anywhere. I think Aquarius must have had a like they were on a jag in life for a while where either they weren't treated very well and bit by bit it eroded like I think common sense can be eroded. As they say, common sense isn't so common. And depending on what our environment is and depending on how much we're being treated, not very nice, sometimes we start to be like, I guess this is the way it's supposed to be. I guess this is normal now. It's like, no, it's not fucking normal. Just like nothing going on in the world is normal right now. Nothing that is happening right now is appropriate. And we know this because we can look back 7 years ago, 15 years ago, and we all know the before times were like fairly normal. This ain't normal shit that we're dealing with in today's era. Nothing is normal right now. And it's not a good idea to act like it's normal when it really isn't, because there goes our common sense. And then it gets like, okay, I feel like I'm in, like the Twilight Zone. And it's like, yes, because that's not normal. So let's get back to the truth. The truth is you're freaking important and you have a place and you have a talent and you have a life path and you're needed and you're wanted. And I love seeing that message come through. It looks really strong and it looks really supportive. And maybe just what Aquarius needed to hear during a time when I think they got a little stuck because I think somebody didn't treat Aquarius well. Oh, look at this. We have Aquarius getting back to themselves. There we go. And there's that stranded DNA. This Aquarius has, they may be a star seed, but also an earth angel. Maybe that's why Aquarius walks this earth, is because we need Aquarius right now. We need Aquarius to flip on the switch for that amazing, gift that they brought to this earth. Whatever this is for Aquarius, it could be somebody who has a real gift for, I always think of waterfalls as like words. Maybe this is a great orator. Maybe this is somebody who will have much to say. We've got the Page of Coins in the reverse. This looks, let me get one more here. With that Page of Coins in the reverse and the Nine of Cups upright, this is the second time we're seeing that Nine of Cups also, right? We saw it here as well. I'm thinking it was a particularly rough last year. Technically we're still in Year of the Snake. We don't change over to Year of the Horse until we get to, February, but it says like chin up, Aquarius, things are going to get a lot better. I think Aquarius's talents and gifts they're being reminded of them first, but they're going to be flipped back on, but in a big way, not a little way. Now with that tiny page of coins, that would be like, I barely step a little foray into something. And it's like, no. There's way bigger and way better coming. What is this? Is this like a true life path that's going to be more highlighted? Is this something that I think Aquarius is, if they've been feeling out of sorts, like I don't know where to apply myself, or I don't know what my big purpose is, we have got a character really stepping into some kind of empowered state. very, very soon. So Aquarius is about to, I think, become some kind of a leader with this Empress here, even though they might be like, no, thanks. I didn't sign up for that. Sometimes, though, the things that we are like naturally gifted in, or we find ourselves in places in life that we didn't expect. Um, that could be something unusual for this Aquarius. And they might even want to shy away and be like, I don't want to be in the public. I don't want to. And it's like, I think it'll click though. If that's part of Aquarius's life path, is to build something, grow something, empresses, they nurture things, they give birth to ideas, something beautiful, something that would make the world better. If that is something that Aquarius is going to be like on, sorry, my tummy is growling, that they're on path for, then I would say this, it'll actually be a lot more fun than Aquarius currently thinks. Whatever they're meant for, the way their life is blossoming, the way they're being like reminded of their talents, and reminded something that you really enjoyed doing, it's going to become one of your talents that comes front and center. And that is what the world needs of you, is that particular talent, that particular thing. It keeps feeling like maybe Aquarius is going to wind up doing something that's like job related, business related. Now keep in mind, this is also somebody who tends to be married. Now that could indicate that Aquarius is going to meet someone and they may fall head over heels in love not too far down the road. And they might be saying, I honestly kind of had decided I don't want to do that. Look, our character always has the choice to say no. But if something is actually going to make them very happy, Aquarius may find themselves by February, by the time we get into Year of the Horse and we exit this Year of the Snake, I think there's going to be a seismic shift in Aquarius's life, in their happiness quota, which is going to go way up, in their, assuredness that they deserve better. That's going to start to reveal itself, and their life path is going to really start to reveal itself. I think it's all going to click into place. Whether it's like, oh my gosh, now the job that I'm doing feels like it flows. Now I see, why something wasn't working before that now is. So it's kind of like by next month, I think February is going to be a really good month. We still have this Page of Cups coming in the reverse, but then we have an Eight of Wands upright. This is no small stuff. This is all, we're in the big leagues now. So I think it's the other like preparation message in this. Aquarius has to not think small, because it's not going to be little stuff happening in their life. It's going to be big stuff. It's going to be big happy. It's not going to be, oh, so I randomly meet somebody who I kind of flirt with a little bit. Nope. It's like big stuff. It could be, I meet someone and they are charismatic and powerful and they're drawn to me like a magnet, like I am to them. And we start building, an empire together. It could be, things start to take shape in my job, my career, or the business that I open. And it's not like I vaguely get a little bit of interest. Like it could be, whoa, I got flooded with orders and I only just now opened my shop. It could be like a really big, energy to come forward. We have the Wheel of Fortune. That Wheel of Fortune is the energy of, doors have opened for Aquarius, a door or many doors. This is the age of Aquarius. Aquarius. That song's coming to mind. And if I try to sing it, I'll intentionally sing it off key. You know how it's like the clashing minor key sound in that song. So I won't do that to anybody. But this is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. But this says it is Aquarius's like time. It is their time to be the comet crossing the sky. It is their time to actually step into their greatest life potential. This is like what Aquarius was built for. This is what they were made for. The wheels are turning, and I think that it's going to pick up pace. I still am a little unclear as to what it is, though. Page of Swords and Magician. Oh, so it's a time of magic. It is a time of like, look, if this particular Aquarius has, how we call it the it factor, like Marilyn Monroe had the it factor. And I mean, isn't there like a whole talent show called the it factor? it's because we're talking about that certain, the French would call the je ne sais quoi, that certain something, right? The certain something that certain people have that is their charisma, the aura, the whatever it is that makes them stand out. And you go, wow, that person, there's something about them. They're captivating. I feel like that is who Aquarius is, and they're about to join forces with someone else who is identical to them in that sense, because we have a magician coming in. I feel like whatever this is, it is a power couple, but it is blending both the very 3D energy of the power couple along with the 5D power couple energy. So I'm wondering if Aquarius, and we already said maybe they come from the stars, which always makes me think of that other great song by Talk, Tawk. It's called Me We, like me, we, but push it together and make it one word. But it's he says, I could name you all the stars, they used to live with me. And then it's like somewhere in there he says, and tell my ancestors I'm coming home. But it's a very, if you listen to the lyrics, it's particularly appealing, but the whole rhythm of it is really smooth and sexy too. But it kind of always makes me think of someone who is saying that they kind of come from outer space, as do we all. We're all stardust, but a little bit more on the nose in this storyline. This is kind of a sci-fi-esque storyline now. Aquarius has something quite magical about them. They maybe don't come from here. Maybe they have some other, like particular it factor or talent or something that makes them particularly special. And when they are kind of like embracing that and being reminded that that is what you are, that is what you have, that is something not to shy away from or be ashamed of. Go ahead and be that, traffic stopping, eye catching, gorgeous person that you are. And also, don't be afraid of having somebody approach and come into your world who's just as powerful, because it kind of feels like this could be a love story combined with, like, this is the person that will join Aquarius on their life path for this next chapter. And it just looks like they're going to do some really beautiful things. If doorways are opening and energy is, being elevated, it feels like a higher vibrational kind of energy. We've got all of these, like bits of lightning. And I always think of that as like neuron connection. I kind of think this is something we're not going to get any more answer on because it's so unique to the gifts that Aquarius possesses. But I will say, if Aquarius was playing small, this is not the time for them to do that. And if Aquarius was not recognizing that they have an it factor that will make people want to be around them, make people want to follow them, make people want to do business with them, that is getting polished off and they are about to shine very, very brightly. And it's just kind of like it starts out with somebody reminding Aquarius who they are. And I think it's the ultimate pep talk, but I also think it's the thing Aquarius needed to hear to prepare themselves for their next chapter, because they got a lot to do. All right, you guys. I love that, Squish Fish. Thanks for being here. You guys are so awesome. Samantha, hi, honey. Classic Slasher, thank you. Wonderful to see you. 01 Frequency, Dan Alsha. Bob Weir. I'm trying to think. The face that I'm associated with Bob Weir right now, I don't think is the correct face. I don't know who Bob Weir is right now, but I always celebrate every human who's ever walked this earth with us. So absolutely, I right now I don't know who Bob Weir is. I would have to look him up. It's not on the tip of my brain, but I always think about every human that has ever been a part of our collective, because we're all here for a reason. So I honor everybody's life. Aqua Beauty, Whitman Clan, thank you again. Bruised Like Violets. All right, you guys, lots of love. See you again soon.